We were finally in Guatemala, and I was ready to stretch my legs and explore after being on board for a month and a half. The first stop was the closest one, Castillo de San Felipe. The Spanish colonial fort is just a short dinghy ride from Sabbatical Marina at the entrance to Lago Isabel. The Castillo de San Felipe was used by the Spanish for several centuries, during which time it was destroyed and looted several times by pirates. The fort was built here to control the waterway access to Lago Isabel and defend the Spanish from the British, French, and Dutch raiders. While it was occupied, after nightfall, passage along the river into the lake was blocked by a large chain that crossed from the fort to the far bank. That would be quite a long chain. It was really neat to be able to explore such a place in what seems like the jungle of Guatemala. It had obviously been well built and was interesting to explore. The first place we entered was the kitchen area. Then you go out to explore the impressive courtyard. There are many tiny stairwells laid out all around the castle. The views from the top were always stunning. Although there are lots of people in the park that includes San Felipe, the castle was quite quiet, so I was able to explore a lot of it in solitude. The heights of some of the doorways were maybe a bit short for me, but I was able to squeeze through. There are some pretty dark passageways along with steep steps as well. Mainly, these were to the cells which held the prisoners. As you can tell, not much light got into this area, and it still wasn't lit today. If you visit, make sure to bring a headlamp. It was kind of creepy, but fun to walk through this area. These are the beautiful days I live in the Rio Dulce, and we were lucky to get one while exploring San Felipe. A week later, we were off to explore another beautiful spot a little bit further from Rio Dulce. We were heading back down the Rio towards Livingston on a lancha. Lanchas are like taxis on the Rio, delivering people to wherever they need to head to. Livingston lies on the country's Caribbean coast, and although it's not an island, it's only reachable by boat. No roads connect it with the mainland. We got to head down through the beautiful canyons and jungle once again, my favorite part of the Rio. The white limestone cliffs are impressive along the Rio, and in the lancha we got to expect them up close. After the lancha dropped us off in Livingston, we got a tuk-tuk to the beach and started the walk to Siete. It was nice to get to walk along the coast that we saw as we were sailing in, although the surf looked quite rough on this day. It's a bit of a walk from where the tuk-tuks drop you off, but it's worth it, and if you need a rest, I saw a few restaurants along the way. The entrance had a homage of sorts to the religion of the Garifuna, who are descendants from the Black Caribs of St. Vincent. The Garifuna people brought their own language and music, and some still practice an Afro-Carib religion known as Dugu. Very fresh. We had made it to Siete. The site gets its name from the 7 Siete in Spanish, pools of emerald crystalline water that cascade from the deep within the jungle until the Caribbean Sea. It's a pretty beautiful walk coming up here to the forest and going into the next pool down here. The water is chilly, but it's pretty amazing, pretty beautiful. The whole thing is set amid lush rainforest, and while it's a pretty spot year-round, it's best to visit during the rainy season, when the creek and waterfalls are running at their strongest. All of the local hotels and tour agencies offer guided hikes or boat trips here. The falls are located just off the beach, which we walked upon. Whether you come by yourself, like we did, or with a guide, make sure you go all the way to the top and find a waterfall. There's a fabulous pool for swimming by the final waterfall, and several others along the way. and the adventurous can dive off the top of the falls into the pool.
Where? So like there?
Straight out, right where it's rough and not slippery.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. All right.
Even those young as 4 took their first jump off a waterfall with their parents.
You fell! How we jump? Good job, buddy. Good job. What did you think of that? Yeah, I just jumped straight out nicely. You'll be fine. There's an extra second there, right? You're like, I'm not landing yet.
Join me next time as we explore more of the beautiful Rio Dulce. Until next time, cheers!